In the past 10 years, Amazon has become one of the largest and most powerful companies in the world. They've also become one of the world's largest employers, with total workforce numbers growing from around 120,000 in 2014 to a staggering 1.5 million in 2024. Even though the company has experienced massive financial success, their employees often find themselves living paycheck to paycheck, especially those who work in one of Amazon's many warehouses. In California alone, thousands of Amazon warehouse workers face the challenge of managing their finances effectively on a monthly basis. With the high cost of living in the state, budgeting can be a tough endeavor, but it's not impossible. In this video, we'll provide a comprehensive and practical guide on how an average Amazon warehouse worker can create and stick to a budget, ensuring financial stability and peace of mind. We'll break down the essentials, from understanding your paycheck to using effective budgeting tools to help you make the most of your hard-earned money and put an end to the financial stress. With personal finance and budgeting being more necessary than ever, with the cost of living being so high, and Amazon's huge employee share, it only makes sense to provide warehouse workers a no-nonsense guide to budgeting. So sit back, relax, and take notes as we unlock the wonders of budgeting. The average pay for an Amazon warehouse worker in California is between $17 to $18 per hour, according to reliable employment resources such as Glassdoor and Indeed. This translates to an annual salary of approximately $36,500, assuming a 40-hour work week. However, income can vary significantly with overtime, bonuses, and shift differentials. Many workers take advantage of these opportunities to increase their earnings, which can make a big difference in their overall financial picture. But with the increased paychecks comes more hours working and less time enjoying friends, family, or pursuing personal interests. While a sub $40,000 salary in California can make living comfortably difficult, with a proper budget and good financial habits, it is far from impossible. Enter the living wage calculator. By narrowing the parameters to your family's size, state, county, and even city, the living wage calculator becomes an excellent tool for estimating necessary expenses. For example, according to the living wage calculator, a single individual in California on average requires around $375 a month for food, $1,750 for housing, and around $900 for transportation costs. For a single individual with one child, these expenses will naturally be higher as there is another mouth to feed and person to take care of. By breaking down these major expense categories, we can get a clearer picture of what it takes to make ends meet and where adjustments can be made to save money. Let's dive in a bit deeper and take a closer look at the examples of a single person without any children and a single person with one child. A single person with no children will have just themselves to take care of. Assuming the average Amazon warehouse salary of $36,500 in California, let's take a look at the average expected monthly expenses. Starting with $3,041 per month, we'll deduct $1,750 for housing, $375 for food, and $900 for transportation costs. Right away, we see an immediate issue. After just those three deductions, the single worker without children is left with just $16 left over. It is even more shocking for the single worker with one child. By factoring in the expected costs of the added mouth to feed, they are looking at a shortfall of nearly $200. I know, this sounds extremely frightening, but never fear, that's why we're here. The name of the game, while you work to increase your income by working hard and fighting for performance bonuses and raises, is to create a budget that fits into your income. So, right away, you can forget the idea of eating out. While things like rent and a mortgage are pretty inflexible, other categories aren't, and those are the ones you want to adjust. By grocery shopping at budget stores such as Dollar General or Aldi, a single person can easily live off of $250 in food costs a month. Similarly, taking advantage of California's public transport system or carpooling to work can greatly reduce transportation costs. So, keeping that in mind, let's take another look. The average worker now shops smart, avoids the expensive habit of eating out, and cuts their transportation costs way down from $900 to just $200. Now, instead of losing money at the end of each month, they are left with over $800 to use for wants and to tuck away in their savings account. Over time, this repetitive surplus leads to financial freedom and an escape from the monthly dread of paying bills. Effective budgeting goes beyond just knowing your expenses. It's about making smart choices to save money and optimize spending. Think of creating your budget as the first step, not the end of the road. One of the most powerful and easy to follow budgeting tips is to separate your expenses with the 50-30-20 rule as best you can. 50% of your income should go towards needs, including things like your rent or mortgage, utilities, and food. 30% should be allocated toward wants such as your hobby costs, streaming service subscriptions, eating out, and other recreational spending. As close to 20% as you can get should be reserved for savings. As you create your budget, keep in mind expenses that you could live without and cut them, as this will make implementing and sticking by the 50-30-20 rule much easier. You'll also want to make sure your savings is getting the most bang for its buck, rather than just tucking it away in another checking account or stuffing the extra cash under your mattress. Look into opening a high-yield savings account. These accounts offer excellent rates just to hold your money in them, with average high-yield savings account rates currently hovering around 4.30%. As you can see, we can always be smarter with our money, but there's no denying that Amazon warehouse workers in California are up against a mountain of struggle with the cost of living, showing no signs of slowing down. But there is hope. Recently in New York City, another high cost of living area similar to many California cities, Amazon warehouse workers organized a labor union in order to fight for an increase in wages. While Amazon has pushed back hard against the unionization of their Staten Island warehouse employees, they show no signs of slowing down in their fight for an increased wage, which in turn would make budgeting all the more easier. In the future, should California warehouse workers go the union route, perhaps an increase of wages closer to the expected living wage of nearly $30 per hour for a single person with no children and nearly $50 per hour for a single person with one child can become a reality. Until that happens, however, warehouse workers must do all they can to take care of themselves and get their finances in the best possible shape. Effective budgeting is essential for financial stability and peace of mind, especially for the Amazon warehouse workers in California who are battling the ever-increasing cost of living in the state. By understanding your income, estimating your expenses with tools like the living wage calculator, and following practical budgeting tips, you can take back control of your finances and achieve your financial goals. We hope this video has provided valuable insights and encouraged you to share your own budgeting tips and experiences in the comments.